I tracked what I wore every day for a year, and it was eye-opening. When I first started decluttering, I probably had over 300 pieces of clothing, and I was wearing a tiny fraction of them, but I didn't know exactly how much. I didn't have exact numbers. I do now. I've been using the free Index app to track my outfits for over a year now, and I hope you're ready for some real stats and some real numbers. So I started tracking. I just checked on September 25th of last year. Every single month, I have put my outfits on there. It's really interesting to see the themes for each month because they do change slightly depending on the season. And also it really made me realize what kinds of outfits I wear the most and how many times I've worn each item, how many times I've worn the outfit, what the cost per wear is, what kinds of colors I tend to wear, and it definitely made me declutter even more. If I look in my Index app right now, so in autumn winter, I've got 49 items in there, and this includes tops, bottoms, accessories, outerwear, and shoes and bags as well. I didn't include jewelry here, so yeah, but I don't have a lot of jewelry. It's just kind of some simple pieces as well. So I have 49 items here, and then I do have some in the archive where I have about 30 items, and these are items that are out of season, so they're kind of like spring summer pieces that I'm not really wearing right now. So in total in my wardrobe, like with the things that are out of season, they are stored away, and what's in season, in total I have 30 plus 49, I have 79 items. Now that is a big drop from 300 and plus items that I used to own. Probably even more than that. To be honest, I'd never really counted all of them, but it was a ton more than this. So we're gonna go through all the statistics in a second, but I do think doing this process of tracking my outfits for the year, or even just putting all of the items onto the Index app, which is a free app that you can use, even just putting all of the items on there and not even tracking every day, just a few days, it really opens your eyes to see what you're actually wearing and also how many items we have. I used to have even more than this, but as I put the items on here, it made me realize what I'm not really wearing, and so I decluttered those throughout the year. So some items that you see in these outfits are actually gone from my wardrobe. But yeah, it's so helpful to see what I think I wear versus what I actually wear, because there were some outfits that were like, you know, fantasy outfits or things I always thought, oh, if I had this specific event that I had in mind, this outfit would be perfect. But when does that event even arise? Like, those were not events that were realistic for my life on a repeat basis. So let's go through the composition of my wardrobe. So I've got 38 tops, which make 48% of my wardrobe, which is really interesting. Half of my wardrobe is just tops, but it does make sense because you've got, you know, t-shirts and jumpers and things like that. Those are the things that you change the most, right? Because trousers you can wear more than once, but tops, not really. Like, I usually change tops every day. Yeah, bottoms, I've got 18, which actually kind of surprised me. That's 23% of my wardrobe, but I do think it makes sense because I've got, so I don't have a lot in each category, but I do have maybe 3 leggings, 3 pairs of jeans, maybe like 2 pairs of normal denim, and then 1 beige pair of jeans. I've got kind of a smart pair of trousers. Oh, I've got some shorts that are out of season, so I think maybe that's why. Because if I look in my wardrobe, the bottom drawer, like the bottoms, is not that much in there, but I think that's why I've got the shorts and skirts and things like that that are out of season. So okay, that makes sense. Then I've got outerwear. I've got 13 pieces of outerwear, and I also felt like this number was quite high, but when I looked in my wardrobe, I saw that, you know, all of these I actually wear, some of them more than others, so that's something that maybe I'll keep an eye on. But some of them are like, you know, a thin raincoat or a checked jacket or a wool jacket, a long wool coat, a puffy coat. So it's kind of different categories, I would say. But yeah, that number kind of surprised me, and I do think my wardrobe it's more on the minimal side, but it's not super extreme. You know, it's the items that I actually wear, but I also don't feel like I wanted to narrow it down to like only 30 items just to have that number, because I mean, that's kind of an arbitrary number, isn't it? I do know it's quite popular on social media to, you know, say you're super extreme and you only have a few items, but that's not really my goal. I still want to enjoy getting dressed and I want to enjoy my outfits, but I want to make sure I'm actually wearing what I'm buying and what I'm keeping in my wardrobe. Now for shoes, I've got 5 pairs of shoes. So I've got some boots, I've got sandals that are in storage, and then I've got 2 pairs of trainers, slim pair of white trainers, and then I've got a chunky one, a New Balance pair. And something that's not in my Index app is I have 1 pair of running shoes as well. And I do have here pretty much everything that I wear like on a regular basis, on a daily basis. I don't have some more gym wear. I didn't put that on here, but just like little gym tops. I do have the leggings here, just so you know what's on here and what's not. Then I have, for one piece, I have 2, and those are 2 dresses that I own. I have 2 bags and then 1 accessory accessory, it's a scarf that I have. I need to get out actually some more accessories that I didn't put on the Index app yet, like hats and things like that. I don't have a lot of those either, but yeah, those are some things that I might need to add. Then looking at the colors was really interesting because I wear a lot neutrals. So the most prevalent color in my wardrobe is beige. What does that say about me? Yeah, I have no excuse for that. I just love my neutrals and it's something I feel comfortable in. Like things like this is what I love to wear. And then the next color that I wear the most is blue, which I have been really enjoying wearing blue. I've got some white, which are kind of nice basics, you know, like a white tee or a white jumper like this. And then I've got some pinks in there, which I have been enjoying wearing more, and some greens. But when I look at the usage for colors, I can see the number of wears for each color. And I do tend to wear black, brown, white, beige. And I think that's also because, you know how you have those pieces, those items in your wardrobe that are the very versatile pieces that go with everything. Like I have a white pair of trainers that I wear a ton. I have a brown and black bag. It's like a leopard print bag that I also wear a ton. I have my leggings that I wear a ton. So I do think that kind of, you know, skews the numbers towards that, but I do still wear a lot of neutrals. And one thing that I'm thinking of doing recently is getting a color analysis. If you've ever gotten one, let me know, because in my head, I would love to wear more color, but whenever I buy color, I'm always like, I don't know if this is a good color for me. I don't know if it's flattering. I don't know if it looks good. I know I feel good in blue, certain shades of blue, and I know I like some pinks, but sometimes I feel like I don't want to venture out and buy a whole bunch of colors and then not end up wearing them. So I'm thinking of getting a color analysis and I'm kind of excited about that. Let me know if you've had one done. Now, looking at new versus secondhand. So I've got 86% new and 14% secondhand items. If I were to do this a few years ago, it would have probably been 100% new, because that's what I used to do. I used to always buy new, and it's only in recent years that I started decluttering and, you know, being more intentional with what I want to add to my wardrobe, that I started shopping pre-loved items a bit more, and that's the 14% that you see there. But also, I don't want to just declutter all of the items that I have already to buy secondhand, if you know what I mean. Like, I think in the future, I would love for this percentage to get higher. So for the things that I want to buy in the future, to actually buy them pre-loved, or to look for pre-loved before I go to look for new stuff. Also, I'm not gonna go out to buy items just so I can get this number, if you know what I mean. 4 seasons, I feel like the spread is quite even. Yeah, it's kind of half and half, isn't it? Spring, summer versus fall and winter. And there are obviously items that I wear all year round. Then there are items sold or donated. So there are a few of them that I donated or sold throughout this year. Actually, I think there are a lot more, because some of them, you know, as I was decluttering my wardrobe and going through it to put things on the Index app, I decluttered before I even put them on here. So I do think the numbers are actually higher. I wanted to show you the most versatile items because I think this is really interesting. So I've got my M&S white trainers that I wear a ton. Then I've got the bag, the leopard print bag that I wear a lot too, and my Lululemon leggings. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm wearing today as well, because it's a rainy day and I want to be comfy. Then I've got the New Balance trainers. I always think the bags and shoes are going to be your highest cost per wear and the items that you wear the most, because we don't tend to have as many as we do in other categories. Then I've got my raincoat and my puffer coat that I wear in winter almost every day. Jeans, Birkenstocks, more jeans, white t-shirt, and my Suzanne stripy jumper. So if I look at the cost per wear for these items, it is incredibly low, and I think that's actually, you know, a good sign that we're wearing those items a lot. Obviously, it depends on how much they cost as well, but having a lower cost per wear is obviously the goal, isn't it? And then there are the least versatile items that I have, which are this pink skirt from H&M that I haven't decluttered. I also haven't worn a lot, but it's one of those items that if I had more like a special event, this is something I would wear. So I'm not entirely sure if I'll keep it or not, but for now it's in here. Then I've got this pair of jeans that I have mentioned before. I don't wear a ton. For some reason, I still like keeping them. Then moving on to usage of my wardrobe. So how many items I actually wore from my wardrobe. I can see in the past month, I have worn 35% of my wardrobe. And obviously there's only so much you can wear of your wardrobe in any 1 month. In the past 3 months, I've worn 71% of it. And the past like half a year, I wore 82% of it. But in the past year, I have worn about 96% of my wardrobe on a regular basis, which I think is really good. It's actually gone up. It used to be a bit lower. So I think that's because I have decluttered a lot of the items that I realized I wasn't wearing. And I think this is a good sign to me that I'm actually wearing what's in my wardrobe and I'm enjoying what's in there. So if I look in my most worn items, again, it's kind of the same as on the previous page, just kind of those same items that I wear a ton. And if I look in my least worn items, this is interesting, this H&M blazer, because I feel like I wore it more often in my head, but apparently I didn't. Some of these items are new or like newish to my wardrobe, so that's why they don't have a lot of wears. Yeah, it's interesting. Like this cardigan, I actually thought I wore it more often than I did. And then if I look in the categories for usage, I can see the numbers of wears per category. And obviously the bags and shoes are going to be the highest because those are the ones we wear on repeat. And then we've got outerwear, which usually makes the most of the outfit. So that makes sense to me, especially in autumn, winter, like your coat is almost the entire outfit sometimes. And then I can see my most worn outfit. So in the past month, this is what I've worn the most. So if I do all time, so in the past year, my most worn outfit was this one with a cozy knit jumper, my big winter coat, leggings, the white trainers, and a leopard bag. And that makes complete sense to me because that is what I wear a lot of the time, especially in autumn, winter. Then I've worn the outfit with this jumper a lot. Then I've got some spring and summer outfits that I've also worn quite a bit. And I am noticing a pattern where it's usually either leggings and like an oversized knit, or it's just a top and jeans and just my basic accessories. So that seems to be like my uniform, or like, you know, the signature outfit that I tend to go for. If I look at the items in my wardrobe and I sort them by category, I can see, you know, the tops, the long sleeve, short sleeves, the jumpers I have, the jeans or like trousers, leggings. And then if I sort by most worn, I can see my most worn items. So this is really interesting to see. Definitely those basics that I tend to wear the most. And I think actually having a wardrobe that's got those basics down, especially if you love neutrals like me, then that makes getting dressed so much easier, because a lot of these items actually go together so well. And that's something I really appreciate in this season of life. You know, as a busy mom of two, I don't always have time to think about what colors go together, or, you know, what kind of style I should go for today. So having those pieces that just mix and match really easily is actually something I really enjoy nowadays. So the cost per wear for the shoes, for example, it's under £1. Same for the bag, same for the Lululemon leggings, £1 and a bit for the New Balance trainers, under £1 for this jumper, my raincoat as well. And actually this raincoat is from my husband and he's worn it a lot before I got it from his wardrobe. When you have a wardrobe that's got not a ton of items, but items that you wear a lot, then the cost per wear is going to be really amazing. So now if I take you through the months from September of last year, I don't have a lot of outfits in that month because that's when I started this. But in October, I can see that I wore a lot of really simple outfits, like jeans and a simple, like, you know, thin layer, and then a coat, or just jeans and the jumper. And then obviously the leggings outfits, because I'm a mom who's on the floor a lot with the kids, but that's just a given. Then November is when I've really enjoyed wearing this outfit with the olive leggings and the beige top. December is when I started noticing in my wardrobe that I wear that black coat almost every day during winter. Yeah, that was interesting. That's a good coat though, because I did wear it a lot and I wear it with pretty much everything apparently. And then same in January, I wore that coat almost every single day. And I wore a few times this coat, that camel one, that it was from Primark a long time ago. Nothing wrong with Primark, but it wasn't made out of anything too substantial. Like, it was very thin, and so that's why I didn't tend to wear it. So I wore it these 2 days in January, and then I decided to declutter it because I realized, for one, I wasn't quite feeling myself in it, and two, it just didn't keep me warm. And when I wear a long coat like that, I usually want to be kept warm, so that's something I decluttered after that. February, I wore that coat to death again, and then in March, I actually started to bring a bit more color into my wardrobe. That's, I think, usually when I start to feel a bit more springy. So I got some pinks, I've got some blues in here. Same in April, just kind of going towards lighter colors. And then May seems to have been a little rainy because I wore my raincoat quite a few times. And then during summer, I can really see how I'm gravitating towards a bit more colorful and still going with white tops. I seem to love wearing a white top during summer, so that's good to know. And then in September, I tend to go back to my leggings and a jumper, or jeans and a top, and then obviously a coat. And then this October, I actually wore this coat on repeat so many times. I got it from Uniqlo not that long ago, but it's a wool one, or like a wool jacket, and it looks almost like a blazer, looks a little bit smarter, and I've been really enjoying that. And then this is November so far. So what I realized through kind of tracking all of these outfits every single day for the past year is that, for one, I really need to be comfortable in what I'm wearing, and if I'm not, I tend to want to declutter it. And I think that's a good place to be in, to get rid of the items that don't make us feel good, like that camel coat. If I put it on and I just don't feel like myself, then I'm just gonna declutter it. Or I had this stripy jumper that was very similar to another one I had, and I realized I wasn't wearing the old one, and I actually put it on one day because I thought I'm just gonna wear it for the day to see why I'm not wearing it, because sometimes it's hard to pinpoint exactly what makes that item, like what makes me not like it. So I put it on, I wore it with leggings, which is the outfit that I kind of had in mind for it, and I realized I was constantly like faffing with the neckline of it. It was a little bit too tight for me, I think. It was fine otherwise, but I wasn't like very keen on it, and so I decluttered that as well. So doing this whole process made me declutter a lot, and it also made me shop a lot less, because when I go in the shops nowadays, I really have this wardrobe in the back of my mind, this digital wardrobe, and it makes me, you know, think twice before I add anything to it. It makes me think, okay, does this item go with the other items that are already in there? Do I see myself wearing it a lot and getting that cost per wear down? And it's been such a helpful process doing this. Let me know what you thought of this, and if you would try a digital wardrobe, I would love to hear from you. And if you want to check out my index, you can go find my wardrobe and see what's in there at the moment. And yeah, I will see you in the next video.